This hood is so dang heavy that it bends the freaking prop rod. All right, YouTubers, welcome back. My name's Dave, like always. And you found do it yourself, do it right. Well, it's another 2-week rental review. This time, it's an Avis vehicle. Why is it an Avis vehicle? Well, the company changed rental car providers, so now I'm gotta get cars from Avis, or trucks, or what they consider trucks. So let's get into it. All right, if this is your first time catching one of my rental reviews, basically what I do is I give you a tour of the vehicle inside and out, show you the features, show you basically everything, or try to show you everything. If you have a question on something in this vehicle and I don't cover it, throw a question in the block below. But yeah, let's get started on this one. This is a Hyundai, and it's a Santa Cruz. Sorry for the shadow, but the sun is strong today, which is great because I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. Santa Cruz, you know it's a Santa Cruz because it says it along the bottom. 100% honesty, I had no idea Hyundai made a truck. Yeah, that's right. This is what Avis considers a standard truck. So if you're looking to rent from Avis and you pick the standard truck option, you're gonna get something like this. And to be honest, it's more like an SUV with a little teeny tiny box on the back. So let's go over the outside. I like the color. It's a pretty nifty color. Get you in. Wow, I can't really get you in close because there we go. Hopefully the wind isn't too bad. Got some nice wheels. It's, you know, lots of plastic. You know, not too shabby, not too shabby. Let me show you the giant cargo area. That's right. This is it, people. This is all you get. It is electric, as you just heard it. And well, let's do some exploring because I didn't even look. Hey, look, there's a little compartment here. Got some tie downs over here. Looks like we got the same compartments over here, same tie downs. There's some tie downs up front there. I think they tried to do it right for a cargo hauler. It's got cool little steps. Plastic. So let's take a dive on the inside. Not much to see back here. It's pretty austere. This is like a textured plastic, but it's kind of got like a grippy feel to it. It's not soft touch at all. Let me out. You know, it's rather small back here. It's got the same vinyl. I don't think you can call it leather. I don't know what you call it. It just doesn't feel like leather. Doesn't smell like leather. God damn it. Cup holders. Don't mind my crap over there. This is how you can tell how small it is. That's a regular backpack with my shoes. Got some French fry holders, some power outlets, some you know, heating and cooling for the miniature people that sit back here. Not much to it. It's rather small. Don't let the camera make it look like it's bigger than it actually is.
That's what she said. That's what who said. I never know.
It's pretty small. All right, let's get to the front. The front is actually a little bit more roomy. Same kind of setup with the door. There is soft touch here, soft touch there. I guess, you know, armrest. Want to make it feel comfortable. No cup holders. It's kind of like an angled, so I don't know what. Maybe you're putting a bottle in here. Not that kind of bottle. Same texture seats. It does have this cool little shelf here. You can throw your phone up here. That's what I do. The dash is soft touch. No real storage other than the center console, which is decent size. Cup holders, some more storage here, I guess. So I lied just a second ago. We got a glove box that nobody keeps driving gloves in anymore. Just whatever that junk is. And then you got the whole cockpit area, which you can't see because of the sun. Let's get under the hood and I'll show you this giant four banger. That's got to be the heaviest hood on a newer vehicle that I've had to open in a while. This here is 2.5. It's a GDI, Smart System Technology, whatever that means. If you guys know what that means, go ahead and throw a comment in the block below. You know, Avis doesn't really clean anything. I took pictures of the inside when I picked the vehicle up, you know, because there's a $450 fine if your vehicle is dirty. Imagine that, 450 bucks. That's more, well, it's not more because I have this thing for 2 weeks, but that's more than what most people pay to rent this vehicle for a day or so, or 3 or 5, maybe 10. I'm not sure. I don't pay for it. It's not my credit card. So that's the very unexciting engine compartment. Looking at the front of the vehicle, there's a lot of lights. And that's okay with me because it does bright, you know, the road, you can see the road at night is what I'm saying. It's bright. I have, I don't know, about 3.5 hours of driving backcountry roads through Tennessee. Forgot to mention that I'm in Humboldt again. Back roads, Tennessee, from Clarksville to Humboldt. Nice drive. Ended up getting dark. Couldn't see really anything other than the road because the lights are so bright. All right, let's get on the inside. Spun the vehicle around so my camera wasn't fighting the glare of the sun. Your typical steering wheel. It's got all the same controls, modes, volume. This is your skip forward and backwards button. It's backwards from what you'd think. You'd think that down would be to go back. It's not. Down actually sends you forward in your podcast rather than reverse. Horn didn't work. Now it works. And then this is your cruise control, lane keep assist. You know, this is all of this crap here that I never use, but whatever. Blinkers, lights, wipers. And then you got a nice, cool little digital dash. I actually kind of like that dash. Looks nice. It's easy to read. It's big. Your infotainment center. You control that by the home button here. I got my Android Auto up right now. And then you can go through. Here's your valet mode. You can go through all this different stuff. I'm not using the guest or any of that crap. It's all the same basic stuff that you're used to. All your buttons for your controls. This is your map. Let's see. Let's click up map. Oh, yep. See, brings up your Android Auto. Let's see what search does. All right. Then you can search whatever you want there. Media. It's going to go back to Android Auto. Let's pause that so I don't lose my whole place. And then all your environmental controls. Heated seats. It's kind of nice. Down here we got some power. 2 different plugins for power. I don't exactly really understand what they mean by this little thing here, but it just means that this is plugged in. There's 2 of them. Well, let's see. There's 2 of them. Trust me here. And then you got your auto hold, parking brake, backup camera. Oh, look at that. You can turn the backup camera on. It's a pretty good backup camera, folks. Hyundai has a pretty good backup camera. Downhill. And then you got your driving modes. Turns it over here. This sucker's got sport mode. And then it's got smart mode. I'm guessing that's like eco. And then normal mode. And then, you know, your SOS. Shit out of luck. Interior lights. No sunglass holder. Okay. So that's basically the interior of this Hyundai Santa Cruz. Got it for 2 weeks. Gonna drive it. I already have some likes and dislikes. I'll tell you them all at the end of this 2 weeks. See you then. Alright guys, well, my 2 weeks with this Hyundai Santa Cruz is up. Typically I start outside, but it's cold and windy out there. So I'm just going to start right here in the vehicle. Alright, what do I like, what do I dislike? Well, let's start with, just a general overview. I, believe it or not, like this vehicle. It's a bit sporty. It's kind of small. Drives good. It's not really a truck. And I don't really know why I like it, other than, I guess it's a bunch of little things. I do really like the dash, believe it or not. The dash setup, it's very clear. It's easy to see. I like that when you turn the windshield wipers on, it tells you, what position they're in. I like that. I like the fact that, the dials are rather large. The steering in this thing is nice. It's got a really tight turning radius. I mean, it's basically a small SUV with a box, if you could really consider that a box. It's got enough room up front. Back seat, that's a negative. We'll put that in the negative. The things that I don't like, it's not very big back there. If you do fold up the seats, I can get my toolboxes in there. But if you're an adult human, it's not going to be comfortable back there for you. The seat heater is rather aggressive. I will say that. When it's cold, you put the seat heaters on. They get warm. Cruise control, not too bad. The lane keep assist is pretty violent. And what I mean by that is it likes to jerk you in the lane. If you're going down the road and it doesn't have like the white and yellow lines, that's what I think that's what it's searching for, because whenever there's like a big turn, it'll start to wander. And then when you come back, like this is a divided road out here, when you come back and it has the yellow line, it jerks you back over to the center of the lane. It does like to keep you to the left of the lane. So if you're in a divided road like this and you're in the left lane, it likes to keep you over towards the ditch. And if you're in the right-hand lane, it likes to keep you over close to the traffic. So I'm going to call that a negative. I've been turning that off. The only time I have that on or have had it on is going down the interstate. I had to drive up to Paris again. And that's another 2.5 hours in the vehicle. So yeah, that's a negative. The other thing I don't like, and I know I'm mixing these all in here, so sorry for that. The other thing I don't like is I don't like how you control the radio or your media. Like, this is to fast forward through your podcast. To go back, you press up. It just doesn't really make sense, because plus on the volume is up. Why wouldn't plus on the be going up? I don't know. I really don't know. Driving modes. It's got driving modes. The sport mode is pretty sporty. Not too bad. I can tell the difference, so I kind of like that. Eco mode, nah. I don't think it's getting any better fuel mileage in eco, or I believe they call it smart mode. Yeah, they call it smart mode. You got smart, sport, and normal. Smart, I don't know why it's smart, to be honest with you. Don't really know. Don't know what that means. It's pretty good on gas. I'm averaging about 26 miles per gallon. So it's not too shabby on gas. I like on the dash up here, it tells you that you're in park. Then you move, drive, normal, drive, park, reverse. I do like that. Not that I really know. It's just, you know, the more little things like that, it tells you. It also tells you when traffic is moving, which is rather cool. It says traffic pulling forward or traffic moving forward, something like that. And it gives you a little ding, little dong, little noise to tell you that. It also, when you have your blinker on and there's somebody next to you and it tells you on your mirror out here, it gives you a little ding, 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 ding. So that's kind of nice. Other thing is nice is the little, you know, not too shabby. Keeps your phone from sliding off and, you know, throwing the phone in your passenger seat. You throw it up there. But most of all, I kind of like the looks of it. Believe it or not. It's not a truck. It's more like a ute, like the Australians call them, utes. So I just kind of like, it's kind of got a sporty look to it. So overall, I actually like this thing, and it's really surprising because when I picked this thing up, I thought I was going to hate it. I thought it was going to suck. I thought it was going to be terrible. But it's not. It's not. It's actually a good driving truck, SUV, more SUV than truck. It's kind of weird that I never noticed these before. I didn't even know that Hyundai made a ute / SUV / truck. But now that I'm driving one, I see them all over the place. It's weird. It's like, what the, you know, it's a brain thing. It's your brain's not looking for them until you're looking for them. And I see them all over. So, who are these things good for? Well, to be honest with you, I had a pilot. He was like, man, I should buy one of those. It's kind of like a truck, but not really. It's, you know, in case I need to throw something in the back, you could put the tailgate down and put whatever you want, you know. So I think it's good for a person that lives in the suburbs, maybe in the city, because it's small, that needs to do some yard work maybe, and they got to take some stuff to the dump. I think it's good for that. I think it's good for maybe a young man that, you know, is not afraid to get made fun of for driving something like this. That maybe can't afford a full-size truck, or maybe can't afford a normal, like a Toyota Tacoma or a Nissan Frontier, you know, the smaller trucks. I think it's good for them. You know, it's funny, like, I didn't realize until I saw one the other day and I drove up next to it. The Ford Maverick is basically the same thing as this. And I didn't really realize it. I don't really see a lot of Mavericks around. But that's the niche that the Maverick is taking up. Because if you think about it, like the Honda version, that's bigger. So the Maverick and this thing, that's, you know, they're competitors. And I didn't really ever notice that until I drove this thing and saw a Maverick and was like, oh, that's about the same size. So yeah, that's about who this vehicle is for. I have to say, I like it. Will I rent one again? Yeah, probably, unless there's something else that I haven't driven yet that I want to review. So if you like these reviews, give me a like, tag, share, follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like always, till next time, thanks a lot. One of the things I forgot to mention, these are fast chargers, and I really like the fast charger, so add that to the list of likes.